you. Yes, that is what you might be thinking. It's a still frame, which we're going to get round to. So I'm just going to talk through this boat bird slow motion here, just so you can see that it's in focus. See the flapping of the wings of the birds. We're looking out for other objects though, small objects. You can see the seagulls going over the mid there. We can see the flapping of the wings. It's slowed down in the bottom left, just right of the palm tree. You're going to see a small object whiz over the. There it goes. Very difficult to see, but yeah, I'm trying to point out detail here and bring out points before we get to these the other points of strangeness. So just watch out, look closely, and stay till the end, because the airplane footage at the end will blow your mind. So please stay till the end. So pointing out on this, it's very faint. There's little black dots coming up out and like little things, which at first, I don't know, it's yeah, you think, oh yeah, it's just something. You don't really pick it up until you take a closer look. Sorry there. So this was recorded in the 2K version with 60 frames per second, so it's not the best resolution. Well, not the better resolution as the 4K one, of course, but we've got more frames here, so to work with. So it helps the motion flow, or the screen flow. So we can see like there's a pigeon on the bottom there looking around. We can see him crystal clear, okay, and the things in front. So everything which we're seeing autofocus. There we stop. Then you can see multiple objects there. So what's going to get really interesting is when I flip this in a second. So just go into this couple of freeze frames. I don't know how much you've seen, but wait, look at it now. So what you say to that? No. Look at him just dancing. Well, don't say like that, do you? Well, this is the difficult thing, where I'm, yeah, just thinking, because you can see something circular flying through there, slowed it down. Seeing all of these little things, which if you don't look closely, it just looks like a normal landscape. But in comparison to the birds, which you can pick out in definition, which is quite easy, which is going through the screen, these other objects, when you can see birds in focus, slightly out of focus, depending how far they are away, but the other bits, I don't know where they're coming from. As I say, there's nothing done on this footage. It's here, the color's been changed, slowed down, but you can see all the bits and bobs in those things in the top left. It does look like a swarm of flies, but I always check beforehand. I know that but if there was a swarm like that close to the lens, it would look totally different. So they're disappearing behind the trees. In between these trees and the water is a couple of 100 meters. So these objects are disappearing behind there. So this is a bird up close at the top there. And those things at the back, I don't know. Look at that. Look at that round thing. What is that? That one, yeah. So I did another video with birds and things. This was in slow motion. This is actually from a different part of footage than this one. Picked this one up because of this, exactly that. No, that was taken on the iPad where I enhanced it there. That one photo, but it didn't do this. This is I did in Final Cut. Now, if that were a bird going through close up, we would still see some type of definition of some type of wings. When it makes a shape, it's going to be more elongated, But look at this distinct shadow now coming through. It's perfectly round. So was the other one was a bit deformed, but yeah, I'm a bit stumped. Here there's more. Seem to be more flying in. One closer, one further back. Over here there's one going over the water. Tried to pick it out. I don't know if anybody's going to take the time to try and track this. I couldn't think. It just sips over the water. But the way they just come. I'm sorry for sighing and a thing, but I'm just sometimes. So I had to do this to it. Again, I flipped it just to show this. What that is. Okay, so I hope you got a good look at all that moving stuff. We were moving to about. I know this footage again. It's a bit. It's not perfect, but it's very sunny, so something moves fast through there. This is the boat out of the thing, so I'm trying to slow it down. You can try and see that dark object going through. So now I've changed the filter on the device while doing it. Look how fast these things are just flying through the screen. All right, so there's another one. Change the filter, so this has got a dual filter, so it's changing the light. So it's look at that. Needs to be bringing out something more, but you can see the birds going through. I haven't slowed this down for the sake of it because it's just too many of them. But wait for a second before it gets to there. There's going to be some stills coming up right now. Check this out. That could be more like a bird, as I said. It's shaped more oval at the back, but then again, look at it. So coming up again, another object. This is multiple objects coming up now, which caught my interest. It always seems like two. It's another one. Another one. Look at that. goes around. So there's more. All those things you can see flying through there, flying at speed through there, right? It's 60 frames per second slow. It's you cannot, if you blink, you miss it. Very simple. The birds we've seen crystal clear. So here's a tanker, two tankers out about. These things are massive out there, right? They're a couple of kilometers out. More than two. Wouldn't want to swim there, so look at those. Explain that one. It was dashing through. So I was going through the filters here because I was seeing flickers out. Just trying to see if I could bring out something more later on. Going through the Astro Duo and the normal filter. So this is a plane from the weekend, I think it was, a couple of days ago. And DWARF caught a couple of them, but this one was, they took one of them out because going through this is going to take too long otherwise. I do have the footage, original footage, I think so. This is the color adjustments, but the cool thing is happens here in a second. I was watching it and then, well, I'll just let you come to it in a second. I know I always say a second, but this is running in slow motion, so it's, and there he is. So a second plane comes into view. I'm thinking, oh, cool. It's like one's spitting out, you know what, and the other one's like doing nothing. It's just got no trail. Bird comes through view. Good. Another one. Clear. Okay, so these two are going along. They don't seem that far each other. I didn't have time or wasn't there to actually pick out on the flight tracker which exactly two planes these were, but I do know they fly pretty close to each other sometimes. So this was pretty sweet. Don't understand the difference. Why one's probably flying at higher altitude, the one at a lower altitude. I would reckon so. It gives us a kind of depth switch. But now watch out. So it's just passed through, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, nothing exciting. Well, the two were there. That would have been really cool to see something. But then, boom, it's an object, right? So then I'm thinking, oh, okay, got one. Okay, shame it didn't go a little bit higher because then we'd have seen something. Then this happened. It goes behind the trail and it comes out again. So enjoy. I hope you liked it.